Hello, everybody. This is Beth Worsdell, and I'm here today with the absolutely fabulous Autumn Bardot. I actually love saying your name.
That's awesome.
It sounds because it sounds quite posh.
My son picked it out. We did one day. We just did a whole give mom a new pen name evening,
I love
and so
that.
they went through the different names. They went through different names, and they kind of all collectively agreed. We went through like all the seasons.
Oh, but I like seasons names.
Right?
I actually nearly called my daughter Summer.
Summer's a great name,
Isn't
right?
it beautiful?
Yeah,
but Autumn just sounds so posh.
it does.
But it suits you because you're an educator.
That's right. That's right. And then we picked the last name, which we thought Bardot. You know,
I know it reminds me of like the French language, Autumn Bardot.
That's kind of what we were going for. And of course, you know, it's a great restaurant near where we live. So I like going there. Like, there's the menu, there's my name.
It's almost like it was called after you.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Now, as you can see, we're actually in the same room. We are actually neighbours. Isn't that awesome?
That is amazing.
Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we've both been stuck in our own homes, quarantined. We're both safe. We've got no germs or lurgy. And then before that, I broke my ankle for
a while.
I was recovering for months. So we just didn't get to see each other,
I
did
know.
we? So, but we're so happy. We're
Yay.
here. We're here. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me today.
I've been so excited because I've got to tell you, everybody, the last time we had coffee, we was chatting about everything
for hours. Things we couldn't put on here.
No, we would have had bleeps all over the place, really, wouldn't we? I'm just going to quickly make sure that we're on streaming on the page,
okay,
so I can share it with the Writers Rock group and the Writers Rock readers. Otherwise, Wanda might slap me, but I might quite like that. Joy said technology. It is. We are live.
Okay.
And there we go. There we go. I can see
We're
us.
official.
We're official. So I'm going to just quickly share it with both groups so everybody can join in. Unfortunately, I can't do it beforehand.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you know how to do it because
it's one of those things. There we go. So I'm going to share with Writers Rock now, and then share it with Writers Rock readers. And for those of you who have not actually read any of Autumn's book yet, why not? Because they're a bit hot. I'm going to share that to the Writers Rock readers group. There we go. I should have my glasses on again, but I don't.
You want mine?
Actually, let's try them.
They're
very posh.
They're magnifying glasses from Amazon with the yellow tint for computer.
Oh, for the anti-glare.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually, do you know what?
2.2 plus.
They're as posh as your name. I like them.
They're 2 plus.
I cannot see a thing.
How about down here?
Oh,
they're for this.
Yeah, they're for close.
They're for
Look
this.
at that.
Right?
I actually think I might have to get my eyes tested again.
2 plus.
You've just convinced me I'm blind.
It's Amazon, and you can get like 6 of them for like $20.
Seriously?
And different colors. So I have all the colors.
God damn it. I tell you, it just goes to show how much we pay when we go to the ophthalmologist. And I'm really impressed I actually said that word correctly. Straight off.
Some people have different things going on in their eyes.
I've got astigmatism.
Okay, so that might be.
So I'm one side squiffy.
So maybe you should just have like an eye patch and just wear the other.
My husband might like that. Now, I am so super excited to see you because you've been up to all sorts.
I have.
In the last year since I last saw you.
I've been busy.
It's been so exciting. But obviously, I'm very familiar with your books.
Mm-hmm.
Some readers may not be.
I will be happy to tell them.
Let's introduce your books.
Okay.
Because I got to tell you, the covers are spectacular, and I want to talk about that in a minute. But show us some of your books, or show the readers some of your books. So I'll kind of
go in chronological order. I've been writing for 8 years, probably.
It's amazing.
8 years, but we can talk about that later. So the first book, it's traditionally published. It's called Legends of Lust. There's a little bit of glare on that. That's traditionally published. It's a collection of historical erotica. So it's super hot. Super hot. Okay. I got an agent, the whole 9 yards. With that, this came out last January. Okay. Then
can I hang on?
sure.
I just need to hold this up because it deserves to be looked at. Where's the camera? Oh,
there it is.
Look at that.
There's
Isn't that beautiful? I think that really sums up how hot it is.
It is that hot.
It is that hot.
It is that hot. And we're actually, when we talk about the covers, I would say if you do your own covers, don't ever have what looks like a naked lady on the cover, because Instagram and Facebook, I can't remember about Pinterest, wouldn't really let me promote it. There's only so much promoting you can do with a traditional book, but they just said, and even though I covered the cover, covered the whole book, they just said, oh no, not happening.
Do you know what I've also discovered recently? That certain keywords will ping them off ridiculously so.
Absolutely.
I can't even mention the fact that I have an ebook, because they will flag it because they don't allow digital downloads. They're
just coming up with new stuff all the time. The second traditionally historical erotica just came out in February. So somewhere it's sitting in boxes at bookstores. And it's Confessions of a Sheba Queen. It is historical erotica. It's a nice thick book. This is beautiful. Super hot. This has gotten I've been on some podcasts, Kinky Ladies podcast.
Oh, that's a bit of me, I've got to tell you.
Stoya is a world-renowned pornographer, but she also has a book club. I was on there on Sunday.
That's amazing.
Zoom meeting in New York City.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yes, and there is one more. There's two more. It was Erotic Awakenings podcast I was on, and the other one, when you talk, I'm going to have to remember which one it is.
I'm just going to hold this one up as well.
Okay.
Because it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Look at her eye.
I'm going to look really quick for it.
Beautiful cover, look. It is absolutely stunning. Confessions of a Sheba Queen. And let's face it, I mean, obviously, you know a lot more about this than I do. I can only go from what I've read in films. Okay, Autumn has done all the research.
I did the research.
But there was a lot less inhibitions, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely.
Anything went.
No. This has all different kinds of everything. It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Because I must admit, I love history.
And
I love history, and I'm fascinated with ancient civilizations. They just didn't care, did they? No. Especially if they were rich and powerful.
I think they were more open. Yeah, they were definitely more open. But yeah, in the book I connect her. There's a lot of mystery about her.
Okay.
And if you look at different histories, there's the biblical history, Jewish, Coptic, and I believe there's Ethiopian, and they all portray her differently. They portray her as different colors. They portray her doing different things. And so I kind of merged the two. So I made her, and where Saba, the ancient land of Saba, because Sheba is just really Saba, is actually what is now Yemen.
Wow.
So, we know what people from Yemen look like, right? And then I made her mother from Ethiopia, and then I made her father from Yemen. So she's a nice blend.
Well,
I kind of merged a lot of things.
She looks quite sultry. I've got to ask though, did you enjoy researching as much as actually writing the books? Because I love researching.
I do, and I don't. I enjoy the research, but it's so... I have to be so organized when I do it.
Yeah,
and I make charts. I make charts, big charts on my computer, and I'll have like indigenous animals and creatures and food and occupations and weather and topography, and there's so much going on.
Wow.
So there's usually pages of stuff. And then, of course, I've always forgotten something, right? When people ask, how much research do you do? Well, we can talk about that. For one of these books, it was like forever, but months, like easily months before I touch pen or start typing, months of reading.
Do you use any sort of visual reminders? Do you have like picture boards with your characters or anything like that?
I have sometimes. For one of my books, I actually got a giant whiteboard because the time frames were so critical, that the period. So I had this giant whiteboard, and I had it propped up against the fireplace. So it was beautiful, right? And I had timelines because I had to get the timelines right.
Yeah.
And there was so much I can't keep that stuff in my head, and I didn't want to keep going. So I could see it visually, and then I just started popping stuff. And it was a whiteboard, so I could like scratch things and move things around. And there was a lot of people and names, and so I had to get it all straight in my head. But that's a lot of setup. And I'll do that. I'll usually make a secret Pinterest board. And
that's very handy, actually.
Yeah,
I've heard a few people do that.
And then you take, when you do your research for your books, you just keep that URL, and it's right in your Pinterest board.
That's very interesting.
Click it,
and that's not gonna eat up all your memory as well of whatever device you're using, is it? If it's all on the site rather than your device,
right?
It's freeing up your space,
right?
Clever.
I remembered the name of the other podcast I was on, which is amazing. It's called Girl Boner Radio. Girl Boner, amazing. She does.
You need to all be making notes of this. I've got to tell you.
Girl Boner Radio.
You've got to be making notes.
She's on all the different platforms. She's amazing, and I got to speak on that as well. So that was really cool. So yeah, being on those podcasts and that one for Girl Boner Radio, I actually we drove into the city. And she had a sound recording, and you sit on the stool with the big old headphones.
Oh, it was all
with
proper
the mic
professional.
And yeah. And that was a little nerve-wracking, but it was fun. With that, I knew that if I had said something, and at one point I actually think I said my real name, she just looked at the clock, the little ticker clock, noted it, and then she just went back and clicked it out. But for some of the live stuff, like, you can't do that.
No, you can't even have a chance to go bleep.
Right. Yeah.
It's done. Yeah. It's done. Oh my gosh! Right, show us the next one.
Okay, so
I love the cut. Are you showing that one next?
Okay, this one was indie published. So I'll give you a little background why I did indie published. The publisher for these just does like LGBTQ, erotica, that kind of sexual kind of that's their specialty.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I ditched I had ditched. We had parted ways. I had parted my ways with my agent because she just didn't want to take the one book. She didn't want to take it out, and then she wanted me to just chop half it up, and that just wasn't working. And then the other one, she actually said I was the wrong person to write it. And that was this one, which is Dragon Lady.
That's like giving you a bit of a slap in the face. I would have been so insulted.
This has an actually, I'm waiting for Kirk's review back on this one right now, but it already has amazing reviews up there.
Beautiful.
And this is the story of Zheng Yizhao. She was a real life pirate in the South Seas.
She was a badass.
She was a total badass. I write about badass women, and she went from prostitute to the most famous, powerful pirate ever, with 40,000 boats under her.
That is amazing. I mean, this is a real woman. This is a real woman.
This
real events. This is what happened.
This
talk about lifting yourself up.
Any questions?
Oh, Tasha says hello. Hi, Tasha. Hey, darling. Feel free to ask any questions. We will keep looking. I'm getting a bit carried away because I've been dying to talk to this lady for months.
for this book, I usually have author notes in the back, and it tells you who's real and who's not real. But all of it's like it's all based on what happened. And there's some steamy parts, but it's not erotica. There's just some steamy parts because pirates, woman.
Well, exactly. Right? I'm just going to hold up this beautiful cover again because your inspiration for these book covers is just amazing. You never cease to amaze me, lady. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Well, for book covers, what I find is you go to your genre, you see what the book cover is, and I use like couple of the photos. There's deposit photos.
Yeah.
And then there's the other pricier one. Which one is it?
There's a few. Isn't there? Pixel.
But there's the pricier one. I actually find more beautiful pictures on that one. Which one is? I can't.
If you're getting beautiful covers like that, it's going to be worth it.
So then I give it. Well, I don't do the covers. I give it to my person who.
But you know what you want.
So what I give her is like, because I don't have any special stuff on my computer. I have PowerPoint. So I take the two photos and I kind of put how I want on it. and then I just send it to her, and then she does it, and then I'll go tweak this, tweak that. Like in the original here, she had like 1 million pairs of earrings on, and that wasn't working for me. Okay. Or I might say, change the font or do this or do that. But then she'll do it. And then, I mean, so I buy the photos, which is fine. They're not, I don't know, it's just the cost of doing business, right? And even the vectors, like we have the dragon vector.
Right. So cool. It's such a nice little touch.
Right?
I like it.
Well, all my professional, you know, the traditional ones have the vectors.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
And I always include in the back of my books, like maybe a chapter or 2 of my other books.
Which I think is fantastic.
You have to do that.
It just gives a little taster, doesn't it?
Yeah. And on my ebooks, you have a link. So you click that link and you go right to those books. So
something I haven't done yet.
So you got to do that. Okay. So ebook. The first one I actually, after Legends of Lust came out, the first one I put out indie published was The Impaler's Wife. So this is actually just one straight picture from one of those those picture sites. Picture sites.
It's absolutely beautiful though, isn't it?
They did a great job. Now what's amazing about this book, I mean, it's dual timeline. It's about a Vlad Dracula, but it's not a vampire book, but it has some mythology in it, and it's about this real Hungarian wife. It's told in 2 points of view. This book did pretty well because the Tantor Media, who does audiobooks, came to me and said, we would like to make an audiobook of this. So cool. It's the same cover because they actually then they repaid my designer. They paid her to format the square cover for the audiobook. They gave me money to make the audiobook, and they had the amazing Samantha Detz do it's fabulous. I mean, she pronounces the names, you know, the Hungarian names, like I can't.
I would butcher them, I got to tell you. Right? I would butcher them.
So that was really cool. So that's an audio
amazing
book.
So, and audiobooks are such a big thing nowadays, aren't they?
They're huge. And, you know, it was funny when I was discussing audiobooks with somebody who was not in the business. They're just like, well, why didn't you record your own audiobook? I'm like, gee, I don't have a recording studio. I'm not a professional actor or a voice person. I mean, the audio people will do like a more masculine voice, more, and with the media company, Tantor Media, they sent me like sent me somebody's voice, and I could listen to it. And I said, you know, that's not quite the right voice. I said, this isn't. Yeah. This is like a gothic kind of dark book. Like I need like a deeper woman's voice. Yeah. And then they sent me the other voice, and I'm like, this is perfect. That's fantastic. You know, so really cool. So
is it out on audiobook right now?
Yes, it's out on audiobook right now. And so I think that's pretty cool. I was really excited when I got that. So I'm hoping.
I remember you sharing the post, and I was like,
yes, that was really cool.
That's such fantastic news.
And what was funny was that after the audio came out for this, my editor at my publishing house said, we got the audio deals for this and this. So this audio is now out. I didn't know it. I just went online. I'm like, oh, the audio's out. This should be coming out momentarily. The audio should be coming out momentarily.
That is so exciting. As I said, I mean, audiobooks are massive now. People are listening to stories in their car while they're doing their ironing, while they're relaxing in the bath. It's such a big deal. And there's a lot of people out there that don't feel comfortable or confident enough to actually read, you know, a big book.
Well, I think what you said was a lot of people, I know, like if I'm doing housework or cooking or ironing, which I hate to do, I put on a podcast.
I do.
So a lot of people do that. They do it when they're driving.
Yes.
I mean, so it's a way to engage your mind and fill up an otherwise boring task with a book. And the thing with audios that people told me that because I don't really listen to audios because my brain just is faster than somebody's speaking. Yeah. But a lot of people have told me they get the audiobook and then they still buy the book.
Oh, fantastic.
Because they want to they'll listen to it in their car and I'm like, oh, home now when they get,
See, I'd be tempted to do that only because my pronunciation of some of your characters would be like so bad. I've got to confess, right? I had to read Harry Potter to my kids when they were younger. And I said the name Hermione wrong for years. Until the movies came out.
It
is Hermione, and I can't remember how I pronounced it.
Yeah, I probably
Harmony or something. I was calling her
for
for
shame,
years.
and you're British.
I
For
know,
shame.
right? I know. It's crazy. Sacrilege. But yeah, so that would be quite handy for me.
And then this came out as well. So I kind of put all my indie books out pretty fast because they were all just sitting there waiting on my laptop. So I put them all out. It's pretty much like every couple, like 4 months, pretty much.
That's amazing.
And this is about Emperor Nero's personal poisoner. She's also a real woman in history. And Kirkus Review gave this an awesome review. Kirkus Review gave this an amazing review, and I'm still waiting to hear.
These are all getting awesome reviews.
Oh, the Dragon Lady. So they're all. I write about badass women.
I think it's amazing. I honestly really, really do, because I think women nowadays need to be a bit more inspired. You know, as much as we all talk about, yes, there's no glass ceiling anymore. What a load of crap. We're still fighting to get taken seriously, and as authors. We're still getting authors that are having to literally just use their initials because they're afraid of not getting taken seriously as an author.
Right.
Aren't they?
Well, yeah. And a lot of it just, especially if you're writing in a more like male-dominated genre.
Yeah.
Then I've noticed that people will just put their initials. Yeah.
Now you've been writing for 8 years.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Okay. So these are like the second half of my writing career. I started with paranormal under a different pen name, which I'm not going to say right now.
Okay.
Because I don't want to merge it right now. I may merge it later, and that's kind of one of the things I'm trying to think about. Should I merge this now? Should I just like take those self-published books? But what I did was I published on Amazon 3 indie paranormal. It was a series.
Yeah.
And I thought they were amazing. Like, damn, I'm good, right? And then I wrote all these, and then I went back. I'm like, I'm gonna go take a look at those and see if I can like clean them up. And I was horrified.
Funnily enough,
I was horrified.
I've been feeling a bit like that recently.
I went back, and I'm not kidding you. It took over a month to redo every single one. And then I tell you what I found which was a godsend. And it's one of those things where you see it on the internet and you see people talking about, but like it doesn't like stick,
really
right?
compute, yeah.
And so I actually I found, and it was actually from a historical fiction society. This went to the Historical Fiction Society, and they decided to read it, and it was a glowing review except for the very last sentence, which basically said that it needed another copy in it. I was horrified, okay? But I went back, and then at that exact hour or two, like in that day, I found somebody on, I can't remember what website, what group it was. It maybe was 20K to 50K or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah,
right, that website
group,
and she was saying how she finally found how to activate the read aloud function.
Oh
my God.
Is that on Microsoft Word?
On your Word. I have it on my Mac, on my Word.
It is fantastic. I've used it myself, and I should have used it more.
I did after I rewrote every single one of my paranormal romance, I went back and I ran it through. It's tedious because the person's reading it slow.
Yeah, it's very monotonous.
And it's monotonous, but you're like, what? That wasn't my word. Or what was that?
Yeah, you know? That comma shouldn't be there.
Right. And so I found I've redone all of them like multiple times. But now they're like done.
Yeah.
And so then after the third paranormal romance was finished, I went and wrote the fourth one because I had to finish
it. And it's still fresh in your mind as well.
It was fresh in my mind because I had just done it. I redid it. And then because I had never advertised it before, I started putting advertised it on Amazon. And I did it KDP. These are not on KDP. The other ones are on KDP because they're like more of like fun beach reads kind of thing. Yeah. You know, and I thought, I'll probably get more KDP reads from that kind of thing. So basically 9 books.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, as you've been writing, obviously for the last 8 years, how much has publishing changed for you? And what have you enjoyed more, the traditional publishing or the self-publishing?
They really both have faults. Like things that are good and things that are bad.
I agree with that.
When people say either or, you're just like, yeah, you can't go there. The thing is, when you have a traditional publisher, so for these books, they had, I don't know, 20 eyes on them, plus like a sensitivity. I don't know if it's a sensitivity reader, but someone who's just looking for that, someone who's just looking for typos, and you're still rereading it. They still send stuff back. But they'll come and tell you things like, add more here. What happened to this dude? You forgot about him. You're, oh yeah. You know, or you don't want to say that this way, or this metaphor sucks, right? Yeah. So you have that. Also, I'm in bookstores.
Yes.
Right. I'm in bookstores,
which is which is what most of us really strive for.
So that was amazing. Plus, for this one, and they send it to like official editing, like Midwest Review. There's a lot of like official review companies, and you get official reviews that they put into the the info page on Amazon and things. So you get the official review. And also they'd hired a PR person, and so this PR person with this one went to town. I mean, like I said, they got me the podcast on Girl Boner Radio, on Stoya's book club, which, I mean, she has a blue check mark and like a bazillion followers, and she's amazing.
Just amazing.
And so,
did you see an uptake, a big difference?
Well, these, I have no idea how many I sell. Absolutely no clue.
That's one downside, isn't it, to being traditionally published, is you don't get to see all the statistics or the ups and downs that we normally see.
You have, but this one, traditionally published allows you, to, like I said, they got me gigs. A podcast, Kinky Ladies is super fun, and Kinky Ladies.
I wish I'd have been there.
Kinky Ladies, you can listen. It's a podcast. Kinky Ladies, they said, "Oh, do you want to do this or not?" And I listened to one of their podcasts, and basically what they do is they trash erotica, but in a fun way. Really? It's like your four girlfriends and you're trashing the erotica,
like we do with a bottle of wine.
They do, right? And so I'm like, any publicity is good publicity, right? So I'm like, sure, go ahead. And they released the podcast about a month ago, and this is one of their favorite books. They only had glowing things to say about it.
That is so cool. Can you?
Yeah.
Because you know where the link is.
Yeah.
Could you add it underneath the?
I will.
Under the video. That's cool.
I will.
Right. Tasha says, do you have paperbacks for all the books?
I do. All the books have paperbacks. They're all paperback.
Fantastic.
I like, for some people, like, you have to have your eye on a physical book. I get tired reading.
I love the smell of new books.
Well, I
can't even say secret book sniffer anymore because I'm confessing. But I love the smell of a new book.
Yeah. Paperback and ebook.
She might slap me in a minute if I start.
Yeah, go ahead and sniff it.
See, I love the smell of a new book. So these are all available on.
They're available
paperbacks and ebook versions.
Yeah, and everywhere. And so what I found, and I wanted to share this. I have a neighbor, and she loves all my books, bless her heart. And she said, I'm going to order Sheba Queen. She says, and I'm going to order, which one was it? I think it was Dragon Lady. She goes, I'm going to pick up Dragon Lady. I'm going to get them at Barnes. No, she was going to pick up my other paranormal. And I said, my paranormal, that's only on Amazon. She goes, oh, no, it's not. It's on Barnes & Noble. Well, what I didn't realize.
That's so cool.
What I didn't realize was that if you just type in a book, Barnes & Noble isn't going to say it's not available.
That's very interesting.
So I was
especially
I'm like, no way, it's not. And I went out, I typed it. Sure enough, my paranormal. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. So they're everywhere, because
that's fantastic. Right? Thing is, they'd be stupid not to, really. Yeah. Your reviews are fantastic. So they'd be stupid not to sell them, really, because they're dead cert.
Also, what I want to tell all your people out there is that if you look at and some of you probably have experienced this, you've got, when you have your KDP,
your dashboard,
right? You've got the physical copy of the book,
yes,
right, is one color.
Yes,
you have the e-copy of the book, but then there's another third color,
which is your extended distribution,
which means it's either going to a library or a bookstore, and I get those, and that's always super exciting. I just wish I could find out.
I think I've had one.
So it's super fun.
But that one's better than zero.
It's super fun. Yeah.
It is intriguing, actually.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, if you are self-publishing, make sure you tick the box for extended distribution. Because if you don't, they are not going to go anywhere else apart from Amazon. So do make sure when you're publishing your book, you tick that box for extended distribution. It means that, as Autumn said, it means that companies like Barnes and Nobles can pick it up and sell it. It also means that small independent bookstores can buy your book at a discount and sell it for you. You don't earn very much from those, do we? It's not very much compared to buying it direct from us through Amazon. It's not as much, but it's still getting your book out there and you're still earning something. Yeah. So,
well, and that's another thing. I mean, a publisher sets your price, and that's high. And you know, my ebooks and my hard copies they're not as high as the traditional publisher, but they're not low either.
No,
because the thing is, if your book is, and I know a lot of people are doing this right now, especially with COVID, they're making their book like 99 cents or whatever. I mean, you're making a penny. These books are 400 pages.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And it's a very fine balance, I find, because I don't think the majority of people realize how much time and money it takes to actually bring a book to life.
Well, I wish that authors, creatives, I mean, get paid what you're worth, what you think your book is worth.
Yeah.
You know, I've got people who read my book in Italy, and so because the book is, I think usually for these I make these like 14 or 15. I make them so there's like a little thing on the side so that if it goes to Italy or some other country, you're not paying the shipping. So you have to be careful. You have to price them so that I don't make like almost anything, like a little bit on the hard on the softbacks. But it's, I mean, you really, the pricing thing, I think people like, they want to sell a lot of books, or I see a lot of people, when I had my paranormal romance, I did, you know, at the time, that was like 8-9 years ago, right? And everybody was like, oh, make it free. And I made the first one free, which is a huge mistake because I didn't have a second, a third, or fourth.
Right.
What the hell was I doing?
Yeah. Well, you're trying to get your name out.
You're trying to get your name out of that. Yeah. But also what happens is people just go around and look for free books and you don't know if they're ever going to read it.
No, or likely to give you a review.
Right. But it's such a huge, steep learning curve. And I'm still learning. And still when I go on certain websites or some groups, and they're talking about algorithms, you know, like my head starts spinning around and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that.
It is very, very tough, especially with technology moving on as fast as it is. It does sort of sometimes make your head spin a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I have another job, you know,
full-time job.
I can't keep up on, I mean, I do what I can.
Yeah.
You know, and
when I can.
And so Facebook, sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm not. I love Instagram. There are so many bookstagrammers, and readers, and like not younger, like you know, mid, like there's you're 85-year-old grandma's not on Instagram. Okay, no. So you get,
and if they are, they're probably bodybuilding,
right. So, I mean, you have this, and I've met Instagrammers who promoted my books for me, who read my books and left amazing reviews, and every time, like, being tagged on things I had no idea I was being tagged on, and that's amazing.
It is amazing because you know that you're getting noticed, your work is getting noticed.
Yeah, and so I tell people, like, don't, like, do it.
Yeah.
Pinterest, I try and then I forget, and I try and I forget to
it's not as
pin every
easy
day.
To use, so I struggle with Pinterest.
It
never does what I want it to do.
It's just so many platforms, and Twitter. I don't find.
I think people are getting very discouraged on Twitter because it's becoming such a negative place.
It's negative, but it goes so fast, and you don't, you miss things. And so I mean, I'm a member of like a retweet group, but I backed off. Maybe I do it twice a week because otherwise I feel like I'm a little spammy, maybe.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, isn't it? And as you said, you know, Twitter moves so fast. I struggle because I can talk for England, and there's not enough bloody letters for me to say exactly what I want to say.
And the thing is,
I end up editing all over the place.
Well, and that's the thing. You have this, and at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but if there's a long tweet, I'm not reading it. I don't read giant blocks of text. I want short, quick, fun.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like I said, on all of these things, I think, like, one of the things I wish I could tell, and I guess I'm telling, it's just telling people is keep it all short and sweet.
Yes.
Okay.
It's got to be catchy.
And if you
have a hook,
if
grab them in.
Right. If you read this, would you want to read the book?
Yeah.
Sometimes people get a little bit, vague, or, why do I care what their struggles are?
Yeah.
Everybody has struggles. We're all struggling right now.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. No shit. So tell me, what is your writing process, and has it drastically changed from when you first started to now?
I write while I'm working. So my writing is when I come home. At that point, it's about 4:00 and my brain is not so great. So
she's been dealing with teenagers.
So my weekend is my good writing time. My kids I only have one left in the house, and he's an adult, and he makes me food.
Nice kid to have,
good, right?
I hope you're listening to that, Harry. I'll be expecting that when you get home from work later.
So I will write on the weekends, on the days off, whatever. My summers devoted to to writing. I just get up at 6. And I'm writing from 7 until basically my eyes start bleeding. And she's
in the zone.
Okay. And that's pretty much, if I'm always writing, if I'm not writing, then I'm doing laundry. I mean, there's no like, oh, what am I doing? Right. With COVID, I thought, I'm like, okay, the kids, I'm doing the distance learning thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's taken way more time. I mean, writing comments to kids takes way more time than me telling them their comments.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And we were having a quick chat beforehand. And can I just say, the worst thing anybody did was tell the kids, your grades can't go down. Because by doing that, they took away all accountability and with no consequences. And so many kids have disengaged. What a ridiculous thing. I mean, we're talking about teenagers and children.
Yeah, they're like, we can't even get started on that. I'll just start crying. I
want to do that on my desk. So summer is when you really
summer and weekends and days off. And with COVID though, I really thought I was going to get more done, and I just find that everything is just too upsetting for me. It sounds, and normally I don't let things I just kind of get in the zone. But I'm not, and I'll get into a zone for a couple hours, and I'll get some good word count done because I've got 2 kind of in the wings right now, ready that I kind of wanted to. I wanted to get 2 complete by the end of the summer. Wow. So that's my goal, and I don't know if I'm going to hit it. And
do you think it's one of those things where you automatically want to go? If you're forced to do something, and you automatically want to go against it, like you have to stay home. You have to stay home and keep yourself contained. And in the back of your mind, you're like, actually, no, I want to go out. I want to do exactly what I bloody want. The fact that it's a perfect time for us to be writing is neither here nor there, really.
Well, I think for creatives, because you need
the freedom.
Well, it's just like there's other stuff going on, and so I get sucked in by reading Twitter and articles and listening to podcasts and then getting little things done that I haven't gotten done all year long.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to be hard on myself because I'm like, it'll come down and then I'll just start kicking it out. But when you talked about the writing process, I mean, I do an outline. Like, to me, I have to have an outline.
You do? You're a planner?
I'm a definite planner. And the outlines are long, and the outlines will get added to or subtract to or moved around. Right.
How do you start that, though? Do you tend to start planning, I'm going to do this in the beginning, this in the middle, this at the end? I'm asking this because I actually posted about it this morning on Writer's Rock. Or do you go straight into planning chapters? How do you go about it?
I don't plan by chapter so much.
No,
I plan by event. So
which makes sense because
for my chapters, I mean, for my reading, of course, I read a lot of historical fiction, but I also read a lot of like action adventure and mystery and that kind of thing. And so
which there are touches of in your books,
right? So what I like to do is leave every chapter you're hanging in which you have to go to the next chapter. So sometimes I have that scene in my head, but whether it's 2 chapters or not.
Okay.
A lot of times it's where you end.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Where you end that. So that's kind of how I do that. And then when I am writing, one thing that helps me, and you're in the zone and then suddenly like you have to stop and go do something. I never just stop. I always put in what happened next.
Just so it's fresh in your mind.
So what I need to happen next, because that way when I come back to it the next day or 2 days later, I'll be like, what was it going to write about next? Okay. So that just helps me remember. Then I go, and I think a lot of times when writers have writer's block, it's because they stop at like a
pivotal point,
an end that doesn't, stop in the middle. And then you know where that, and then you know where you're going. You know where you're going. Yeah.
So I have a theory on writer's block. I call it having a creative rest.
Yes.
Sometimes
refresh.
Exactly. Refresh. Sometimes your brain just needs that creative time out to go and do something else creative, because we're all very, very creative people. I don't know about you, but if I'm not writing and doing housework, which is always a lot of, I'm always making or creating something. Are you the same? I'm
always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm organizing, I'm planning, I'm looking, I'm doing. I'm never bored.
I know. And I cannot understand how people go, I'm bored. I don't think I've ever been bored in my life, actually, I can't even say waiting for the kids to come out of school, because I'd be sat there writing like songs or doing whatever.
But your brain is that way. And so your brain is going. And that's why when I talk about COVID, I'm like, my brain is already going a mile a minute.
Yeah.
So now with COVID, it's just like, wow, it's out there. So I'm hoping it just kind of, I really need to get, like, the school year's coming to an end. I'm hoping I'm just going to dive in and get those done, because I'm so excited for the next 2 coming up, and it's all there. And the everything's fleshed out about these books. I just need to.
It's just fantastic. I'm thrilled to know you. I've got to tell you. I love you to bits. I know we'll be smooching later. I might end up in one of her books.
Definitely.
See. Now, for new authors, I mean, the first time you and I met and we had coffee, and you gave me loads of really good tips and advice, and I was literally making mental notes. And when I came home, I spent the next 3 months making changes, just because of your valuable experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
It means a lot. And and the nice thing is about Writer's Rock is we get to share tips and advice, and we can say, don't do that because I tried it, and I found this better way. What are your main do's and don'ts with regards to publishing on both sides? Because you've done both sides.
Well, for the traditional, the don'ts, I mean, you don't really have a lot of control over the don'ts.
No, but I mean, it's so nerve-wracking. I mean, I I tried querying agents, and I stressed myself out more writing my query letter than actually writing my book.
The query letter's tough. No, for sure. The query letter is tough. And actually, while I am writing this one book now, on the first page of that document is query letter.
Right.
So as I think of a sentence, I kind of plug it in. Of course, it'll get revised.
Key things
that I want to say.
The agent.
Yeah, because I actually want to try to query that.
Yeah.
Both of them. But this time I'm going to query differently.
In what way?
I'm going to just query the agents that I just like, the top 10, and that's it.
Right.
And then if they don't want it, then frankly, I make more on my indie published work.
Yeah. Especially now, because I mean, you've got a fantastic following, and devoted fans to your work, because they've got what I love about your books is they are just as fantastic for men and women.
I do have men readers. Mm-hmm.
They're not just for women. They are for men and women. And let's face it, there are a lot of men out there that do like strong women types. I mean, look how popular Lara Croft was.
Right, I know.
So what about the indie publishing? And what would you say are the do's and don'ts?
I think the do's and don'ts is, I think some people don't. They rush it. They rush their book.
It's easy to get excited.
It is very excited. They rush it. They're not ready. And you don't want to put your baby out there and it's not cooked yet. It's like it's a preemie baby and it's not cooked yet and it still needs some life support. You need a great cover. And I know I see a lot of issues with people's covers, and I shake my head because I go, no, your covers are fabulous.
It's so important though, isn't it?
And if you can't do the cover, like there are people. I have a fabulous cover person, and she does the formatting, and she has like a basic formatting, and then she has like deluxe. I always get deluxe because why not? Because it's
investment.
Yeah, so
you're gonna get out what you put in, aren't you?
Yeah, and I know for some people it's like way beyond their budget, but that's kind of. I had a friend tell me, and she's in marketing, and she does. She's probably listening, and she sells big ticket items, airplanes, and she told me that don't expect to make any money in the indie publishing for a year.
Yeah.
I did, but I did also sink a lot into. And it wasn't that much for the book covers, for the formatting, for Amazon. I do Amazon ads all the time.
Which she's going to have to teach me how to do, because I can't even get to my payment page.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Apparently.
It's a headache.
Oh my gosh.
And I've learned like what I did that netted no results.
Right.
A couple, look, they chose me. And I just saw no uptick in sales, nothing.
Well, where was that? Was that on Amazon? Or?
No, that was a venue where I thought I was going to get some play. And there's a lot out there that you're just not getting anything. I've had
no look on Facebook, I got to tell you.
World Dracula Day is May 26th. So this will be $2.99 for a few days around that day through Fussy Librarian, which I love Fussy Librarian. I also have an article up there.
Oh, really?
Yes. How I turned, like a nasty guy into a love interest.
Maybe we can share that link as well.
So
that is super cool.
So I think people rush the cover, and they don't format the inside. Your inside has to look nice.
It does have to.
It has to be the right font. It has to be that. And I see too many people not doing it the right way, and so that's problematic.
And to be fair, I mean, even if you haven't got, a big budget, because I don't, I've got 4 children, 3 of which are still living with us. And some of us don't have big budgets, but if you can't afford to pay a lot of money, just be very, very smart about it. I was lucky enough to discover the free formatting app from Amazon, KDP, and that works really well. I mean, especially if you put a little bit of effort into it and try the different scenarios. And because I knew, I quickly realized that mine was a trilogy, so I saved my settings.
Okay, good.
So each one would be the same. And also, interestingly enough, and I can tell just by your beautiful books that you've looked into it, different colors attract different people. And if you've got a book that is aimed at men and women, it's important to have colors that are attractive to both sexes.
Colors, fonts. If you have children that are like middle school and up, they will tell you there's something called old lady fonts. I didn't know these existed, but I did something fonts. And they're like, Mom, that's an old lady font. I'm like,
I've heard of old lady cars.
Old lady font. And they just said it was old school. So there's more modern fonts, and sometimes you have to go to dafont.com. I love dafont.com.
I've not heard of that one either. See, I love
you will
lady.
Be sucked into the abyss of fonts.
Mine's Medusa, apparently.
And so you have to look at fonts, and you have to, and also to make sure that when it shrinks down to that little tiny size, it looks good.
That's the thing, isn't it? Looking at your stuff from a distance.
Looking at stuff from,
because you've got to imagine it on a shelf, which Autumn's are.
I mean, when I did my paranormal, I totally redid the covers. I redid the covers, but used the same pictures, but totally did them differently.
It's my daughter messaging. Okay. There's no rest for the wicked, and I thought I'd turn that off. There we go. I'm off now. So it's on mute.
So even though I used the same pictures, my cover designer was able to do things. But like you said, you found the KDP free, formatting, and
it really helps, especially for the ebooks, because I didn't have a clue how to do it.
For me, I'm working. I didn't have a minute spare time. No. If I'm doing something else,
you're not writing.
Yeah. So my husband finally said, "Why are you trying to figure this crap out? Just pay somebody."
Yeah.
And so I can pay somebody to go, "Here's what I want it to be. Do it," and they do it. Then that's and like I said, and she even redoes, so when I went through and I'm like, you know what, just and because I'm a good customer, she's not keep charging me the same price, but she's just, but it's, and she puts them in all the formats.
That's just
so
fantastic.
She puts it in the KDP format, she puts it in the ebook format, because there's like the EPUB. Then there's the Mobi, and then there's the PDF, and there's all these files. And
joys of technology.
I don't even want to. For me, it wasn't something. And then for the public, for the advertising, I know people who spend $10,000 a month on advertising.
I don't know how they do it.
Well, evidently they're selling a bazillion books. I don't have a genre that sells like that. Historical fiction isn't like romance.
Sci-fi is quite hard as well.
Romance, a lot of those genres, people just like gobble them up. I lost my train of thought. It was really important.
It's like the blind leading the blind. She's talking to the woman that can go in the next room and go, "What am I here for?"
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So when I first started advertising, I mean, I used to go to work, and I would pick up a Starbucks every day, and that's $5. So if I can afford a $5 Starbucks, I can afford $5 a day on Amazon. And so that's kind of what I did. So then, and hubby's super nice. He's just here, but I still keep it at a pretty small amount. And I keep telling I really just want to throw some money at it one month and see if I get an uptick in sales.
Yeah.
But I'm just not brave enough to do that yet. And I still have to play. But all that playing with that on your dashboard, once again, to me, it's just you're just sucking things up, and the time is gone. And then I look up, it's
I know, isn't it crazy? That have you tried? Obviously, you've tried the Amazon advertising. What about Facebook and other platforms? Have you done any other advertising anywhere else?
I couldn't figure out Facebook.
It's not the easiest thing I've got to tell you.
I tried once. I couldn't figure out. It was once again, it was too time consuming.
Yeah.
I did snap a pic of somebody who said that they actually will do that for me. And I'm thinking maybe this summer I will contact them and say, you do this. But then here's the thing. You have to look at who your reader is. And I don't know.
And who you're competing against.
Right. And I don't know if my reader really is going to jump on something from a Facebook ad. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, if there's a shoe ad, I'm all over it. but if if it's skincare, I'm there. But
books. Mind
some
you,
kitchen gadget. Oh,
but you do have, but you've got the reviews to back it up, though, haven't you? So I reckon you do quite well if you figure it out.
I think I'm doing pretty well.
I think I should teach her how to do Facebook ads, and you should teach me how to do Amazon ads.
Amazon ads are like,
maybe we can do a little session on it.
They do themselves.
Oh, that's handy to know.
They redo themselves, yeah.
Do you know what? I'm afraid we're going to have to go. We've been on here for nearly an hour already. We could talk for hours. So just what is the next bit for you? What is your new plan? Obviously, you've got 2 books in the pipeline for this summer. Are you just at the moment going with the flow? Obviously, I mean, it's so tough at the moment because everybody's been affected by the virus. Editors, book cover designers, everybody that we deal with as authors are all being affected. So are you just going with a open timeline right now?
I'm just going to try to get up and write.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get up every day and write.
Yeah.
And try not to get sidelined too much.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm doing. And just I just don't want to beat myself up about it because that's so easy to do. And I tend to beat myself up about everything anyway. I didn't get enough done today.
We try and put on so many different hats, don't we, all the time?
And I'm just going like, okay, I'm just going to get this done today. But if I don't, I know I did other things that were valuable too. And I'm trying just not to stress about it. Don't make me stress about it.
I'll be breaking out the whiskey in a minute. I'll wind her down. Right now, which of your books is your favorite? Which one's really close to your heart?
They're all like part of me. I couldn't say
babies, aren't
they. Some of them were much more challenging to write than others. Actually, they were all challenging.
But which character did you?
I don't think I have.
Most?
I think the book that to me was the most fun, but also the research was the most labor intensive, was Dragon Lady, because I mean I get to do sword fights and I get to do murder, and I love sword fights and murder. I mean, who doesn't? But all of them have this, like, they're all kind of part of you.
Yeah, they are, because you pour your heart and soul into them, don't you?
Yeah, that you do. And so to me, every book becomes a part of me until I write the next book, and then that book becomes a part of me.
Yeah.
So that's like saying, what's your favorite book that you've ever read? I bet everything. What's your favorite food?
Where's my list?
Where's my list? Yeah. So but can I say really quick, if you go on my website, autumnbardot.com, and
which is lovely, it's beautiful.
Thank you. And go and join my mail letter, and like I almost never send anything out unless something is coming up. Like
new release,
a new
cover reveal.
Yeah, that's it. Like otherwise, I just don't have time.
Yeah.
But if you'll get like a response email, and it says, thank you for joining, and if you want some swag, I'll send you some swag out. So I forgot one of the swags was a bookmark, and it has all my book covers on it. But the other, I don't know if you can see, it's a tech cloth.
Isn't that cool?
Tech cloth, and you know what? Like for your glasses,
or your phone,
your
Kindle,
right? So little tech cloth. So I send a tech cloth out and a bookmark. So if that's what you want to do, that'd be awesome.
That is so cool.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Do anybody have any questions? It's a tricky time of the day, I know, because people are trying to still work from home. They're supposed to be working from home.
I know. Where do you see
I'm not sure how many there are working from home, but
I'm working from home. I really am.
The nice thing about doing this for the Writers Rock group is the video is saved. So you can literally come home from work or finish your shift from home and watch our tete-a-tete.
Yes.
I have to say posh words like that because it's Autumn Bardot and it sounds really posh. I love it. But you can ask questions, and obviously Autumn can check. So tag her if you want to ask something specific about the books or about a publishing journey, because she has done both traditional and indie publishing. You can send her a message and tag her so she gets to see it. Otherwise, they all get lost a bit.
They get lost.
So tag Autumn if you want to ask a question.
Follow me on all those things, because then I'm more like, I'll see that. Like I'm on Instagram a lot, and Twitter not so much, but Instagram and.
But
Facebook.
if you tagged, I'll
see it. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pretty fast replying, especially if I'm trying to avoid writing.
We are born procrastinators.
But it's been fun. Like I have a lot of people, messaging me and tagging me, and when a reader does that,
it's
I had one just gushing, and she's gushing over Sheba Queen, and I just cried. It was so amazing. I couldn't even articulate to her how fabulous she made me feel. It was wonderful.
I don't think readers actually comprehend.
She was surprised I responded.
Was she?
She's like, "Oh my gosh, you responded to me." I'm like, "Yeah,
of course you do.
You make my week."
Yeah, and it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because all these comments and especially reviews, please leave reviews. They make such a massive difference to us, and they keep us motivated and keep us going to write the next one and the next one and the next one. So it's very important. I've actually gone back and left reviews on books that I read years ago. Oh, good. Just because I realise now how important they are.
Okay. That's good.
I feel quite an angel.
Well, we could do a whole thing on reviews too, because as an author, you have to be careful.
You do have to be extremely careful.
I don't leave bad reviews.
No, it's not very nice. If you can't, it's one of those things that it's like when you're a child and your mum says, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say anything at all. And that's the same goes for reviews, doesn't it? Really. Yeah. Now I've written books. I'm sure you feel the same way. I don't think I could cut somebody like that, because it's like a stab to your heart getting a really awful review, especially if it's just like 3 stars or 2 stars with no explanation. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, I have a 1 star on, and I don't look at my reviews ever. I had just was scrolling through something and I saw it, and I just clicked the screen off and I told my daughter to read it. And this is after I'm getting glowing other reviews. I'm like, why with the 1 star? She said you were obsessed with sadistic sex. I said, there's 2 sentences in the book with a little S&M. It's Vlad Dracula.
She must have had a very sheltered childhood. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So yeah, I don't look at reviews.
She obviously doesn't have fairy handcuffs in her closet.
You do? I'm going to go look. I do.
That's about That's about as close as I'm going to get to it. Autumn, thank you so much, darling.
Thank you.
Will you please come back and talk to me again?
Anytime.
I think
we can do one at my house.
That would be fabulous.
If I can figure out this setup.
That would be fabulous. I would absolutely love that. And perhaps we can do a few more, because obviously it's so nice to talk to somebody who's done traditional publishing and indie publishing. And
because I'm messed up both ways.
Well, she's been successful on both sides. Fantastic. But maybe we can talk about some other topics as well.
That sounds great.
I can pick your brains, and then she can blow your mind with all her knowledge.
I wish I had some people have so much knowledge, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, but you have to do so much bloody research for your books. It's a miracle you can still blink, really.
I do.
Oh, hi, Mark. He's having a giggle at us because we're both lunatics.
Okay.
I can't even deny that. We haven't even been drinking. Yeah. This is actually coffee, I promise you.
We need to have a martini time next time. Or a bet. That's what we're going to do. We could do it at my house.
Malibu.
We could make my signature cocktail, and we could just do it maybe from the pool. Oh, God. How would that be? That would be like California.
Deadly.
Right? I think
you might not get some sentences out of me towards the end, but
by
then we won't care. We won't care. Autumn, I love you, darling. Thank you so much, darling. Oh, thank you, darling. Look, buy her books, leave reviews, and I love this one. I would literally date this girl. She's so cute. Look,
she went both ways, so she went all the ways.
Well, there you go then. I would have been in. I wouldn't have even had to do much chatting up. That sounds fantastic to me. So Mark says, Irish coffee, there is a plan.
Okay.
I'm not even going to deny that really right now. No, okay. Right, thank you so much for joining us. Leave questions underneath. Autumn is going to leave her book links and all the pages underneath so you can check out her books and read her fantastic reviews. And if you could leave those links for the podcast so we can listen to her, that would be fantastic.
I will do it.
Thank you very much, darling. Thank you everyone for joining us. And hopefully we'll be doing this again soon.
All right.
I think we can have a new show.
I think so. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye. It's not ending. Did you see my pause face then?
Is it end?
I have no clue. It's not
Just
working.
close it.
Oh, there we go. Look. See, I'm mistaking my iPad for my laptop. How bloody technology.
It's not a touch screen.
See you later. Bye. Oh my God.